Hold a megalodon tooth in your hand and you feel the weight of an animal that dominated the oceans millions of years ago. We have known about these teeth for nearly 2 centuries. Yet, the research keeps reopening basic questions about the shark behind them. Around 10 million years ago, this giant petrel warmed coastal seas, reaching size no other shark has matched. But the simple story many of us learn, a huge shark that hunted whales until it mysteriously vanished, no longer fits the evidence. Why did only this lineage reach such extreme size? How did a predator so widespread maintain its energy needs? And what changed around 3.6 million years ago that even a giant could not overcome? Chemical clues, growth studies, and shifting ocean conditions are reshaping the picture. And those insights matter for understanding today's oceans too. Picture this, a museum drawer full of fossil shark teeth. Most are small and familiar. Then there is one that stops you. It is the size of a human hand, thick, serrated, and heavy enough to feel like a powerful tooth. Teeth like this have been studied for nearly 2 centuries, and they all point to the same animal, Megalodon, the largest shark known from the fossil record. Its scale is impressive, but the real questions go deeper. How did this shark grow so large? How did it spread through warm seas across the world? And why did a predator that successful disappear about 3.6 million years ago? To understand that, we first need to set the scene. The world Megalodon swam in was not today's ocean. Between 23 and 3.6 million years ago, Earth was warmer. Sea levels were higher. Coastlines were broad, shallow, and full of life. Marine mammals were becoming more diverse. Early relatives of modern whales and seals were everywhere. These were productive seas, the kind of environments that allow predators to grow large if they can find enough food. Megalodon evolved within that setting, where food was plentiful enough to sustain very large predators. But here's the puzzle. If these oceans were full of life, why did only one shark lineage reach such extreme size? Many sharks stayed small. Some stayed fast and streamlined. Megalodon took a different path and grew to lengths that may have reached 15 to 20 meters. That is longer than a city bus. How can one animal get that big while others stay modest in size? The first clues come from the teeth and the vertebrae Megalodon left behind. Teeth show us diet. Vertebrae show us growth patterns. When scientists study the chemical composition of the animal, they find that Megalodon kept its body several degrees warmer than the surrounding water. This type of body temperature control is called regional endothermy. It is not a full warm-blooded animal, but it allows some body parts to stay warm and work effectively. Modern tuna, mackerel sharks, and great whites do something similar. It means faster muscle response, better swimming over long distances, and the ability to hunt in a wide range of temperatures. In simple terms, Megalodon had the biological tools to become a global super predator. Next comes another line of evidence. Tooth sites around the world contain clusters of small teeth mixed with larger ones. When you chart their sizes and growth bands, you can identify young individuals and adults living together. Some of these sites show mostly young sharks. That pattern points to areas where young megalodon gather in greater numbers. These sites contain many small teeth, which researchers interpret as places used by juveniles. The young were already several meters long, which means they require safe, shallow habitats with enough food to support them. For slow-growing animals, nurseries help keep populations stable. The early life of Megalodon probably depended on these safe coastal habitats. When scientists analyze zinc isotopes in megalodon teeth, they can estimate its position in the food web. Megalodon sits at the very top. It fed on marine mammals like early whales and seals, but also on large fish. The teeth themselves support this broad diet. Their size and serrations allowed the shark to process thick tissue and bone, which made many types of large prey accessible. The overall picture points to a powerful predator with flexible, high-level diet rather than narrow specialist. So far, the story is one of success. Warm seas, abundant prey, and a physiology turn for long-distance hunting helped Megalodon dominate oceans for millions of years. It spread across the world. It reached enormous size. It maintained complex nursery networks. Yet, everything that helped it rise could later make it vulnerable. Around 3.6 million years ago, the climate began to cool. Oceans reorganized, productive coastal areas shifted or shrunk. New predator species, including early great whites, expanded into regions Megalodon once dominated. Great whites were smaller and had lower energy needs. They occupied a similar place in the food web, but required less food to survive. In ecosystems where prey became less predictable, this difference matters. Smaller predators can adjust more easily to change. Gigantic ones cannot. At the same time, the drop in global temperatures affected Megalodon directly. A body that runs warm is expensive to maintain. It requires steady access to high-calorie prey. If this prey decline or move into colder waters where a giant warm-bodied shark struggles to follow efficiently, the system breaks down. The strengths that once gave Megalodon an advantage became constraints. Nursery areas may have played a role as well. Sites with many small megalodon teeth suggest that juveniles use shallow coastal habitats, and these environments are sensitive to sea level change. As coastlines shifted, some of these areas could have been altered or reduced. Scientists still debate how central nurseries were to megalodon's life cycle, but changes to these habitats could have influenced where young sharks could grow. When you combine all these factors, a pattern emerges. Megalodon did not disappear overnight. It faced changes in climate, habitat, prey availability, and competition, all at the same time. Each factor alone may not have caused its extinction, but together they slowly reduce its margin for survival. The story echoes a broader pattern I often see when looking at past ecosystems. Success in nature is not about being the biggest or the strongest. It is about matching your biology to the world around you. When the world changes faster than you can adapt, even the most impressive species can fade away. What Megalodon lives as is not only a record of its size or strength, it gives us a detailed case study of how ecosystems shift, how predators respond, and how climate shapes the lives of animals. When we understand these patterns in the past, we are better prepared to understand the changes we see in today's oceans. At Climate Ages, that is what guides our work. Stories like this help us connect the past and the present. When we understand, we care. And when we care, we protect. Subscribe for more science that explains our past and shapes our future. Did you know that Climate Ages started as a science storytelling newsletter that now has over 12,000 subscribers? Visit climateages.com and join a community of optimistic changemakers. I can't wait to see you there.